I'm here to talk about the Delta Connex program today. I'm the program manager of this program and a few other programs at Reach. So this program on our contract is called the CDBC FASD program. Stands for Complex Developmental Behavior Conditions and Fetal Alcohol Spectrum Disorder. It was first created to support families with children with fetal alcohol spectrum disorder, but it's since expanded just to meet the needs as they've changed in the community. It's also a program that's offered in most communities, so you'll find each city has their own version of what they call a key worker program. The big difference that sets us apart from that is a lot of the programs focus more on that kind of key worker connecting to resources. We also offer a behavior consulting component. And we have a low barrier eligibility as well. So as we go on to the next slides, you'll see just what we offer and how you can connect to the program. So a little bit more about us and our eligibility. It's a 0 to 19-year-old program. You must reside in Delta. Self-referral, so that sets us apart a little bit from the other behavior support programs you've heard about. You also don't need a diagnosis, but we look for there to be a challenging area, so in development, mental health, or behavior. What else can I tell you? We provide service directly to parents or guardians. It's at-home based, so we're looking at helping with quality of life, reducing stress and behaviors within the home. And something exciting, we've just had an increase in funding over the last couple of years. So we've gone from 1 FTE up to over 4. So it's been lots of training, lots of new staff, but really exciting to have that as part of our program. Other than that, I'm just trying to think of what else sets us apart. We do have a long-term monitor component to it. So families can access the program for up to a year, but then if they do have an alcohol-related diagnosis, we can support them until they turn 19. So that's just a bonus for families who can have someone consistently throughout their childhood years. I've divided up here our program into kind of the 3 main components that we support. The first being the behavior consulting role that we support with. So this would be similar to what we've heard with the other programs, where we do focus on a positive behavior support model. We really see the families as the experts in their child's lives, focus on strengths and building on those, and really kind of assessing and then going in with a positive behavior support plan or a family action plan to target goals and priorities. And we do that within 3 months of service, and then 6 months after that, we aim to update, look at progress, and discharge if possible. Moving on to community support and advocacy. With that, sorry, that can look different depending on the families, but generally we might hold team meetings, collaborating with other community team members. We might join families to assessments, medical appointments, or school meetings. And we can play the role of just being there physically to offer support. We can advocate where they may not feel comfortable speaking and expressing their wants and needs. And then the other part that they find helpful is even just being the note taker. That allows them to be present and just focus on the meeting, and then we can debrief and go over what happened in the meeting afterwards. And then the connection to resources. That, again, can really vary from family to family, but things like helping them find extracurricular activities that are inclusive, counseling supports, mental health supports. Sometimes they might need a family doctor or a specialist, help accessing assessments, or even right now, we're seeing a lot of families who are needing help with housing support, food supports, just overall financial need where we might help with accessing grants or subsidies and that kind of thing. The last two components of the program are on this slide, one being our parent peer support program, and that's run by a trained facilitator. They're monthly sessions, and our goal here is really to provide an inclusive space where families can connect with others in similar challenges, and just really decrease stress and just feel less isolated. We find a lot of times families are feeling really alone, and so this is a constant work in progress for us because I'm sorry, I have a tickle in my throat. Families have a hard time coming out to these meetings, and so we're always looking to tailor it to be a good fit, whether it's virtual or in person. And then the last part is our Indigenous support that is funded by Fortis. And this program is provided by me. And right now I provide weekly visits to TFN, to their youth center, and I'm in year 4. And apart from that, it's providing any supports that are needed. So I've done some one-on-one behavior consulting with families, mentorship, relationship building, staff and parent training, and just connecting around resources and helping to collaborate on events and that kind of thing. I've also just put together some trends and challenges. So some of the positives, as I mentioned, with the funding, we've been able to decrease our wait list. And so we're down to about 2 to 3 months waiting. And that have also, of course, has increased the amount of families we can see within a year. We've also been able to connect with our Punjabi support group and received a number of referrals from there. And we do have, I'm sorry, my tickle. We do have 5 staff who speak Punjabi, or sorry, 3 of our 5 staff speak Punjabi. And so that's been a real help to support that community. Thank you. trends that we are seeing, as I briefed on it before, just basic needs are a real struggle for a lot of families. And so we're finding that that creates a challenge for accessing our service. We've also seen an increase in intimate partner violence and an increase in mental health challenges. So with that, we're just finding engaging in the program becomes difficult for some families to fully engage. Specifically with FASD, just some of the stats that I have here, we find that it's underreported, but it's about 4% of Canadians. And this is more than autism, cerebral palsy, and Down syndrome combined. Yet they're eligible for less service. And so we are constantly advocating for more supports and services. It is a lifelong disorder, and apart from our program, there isn't a lot once they reach 19. It's also highly stigmatized. There's a lot of blame and shame on birth mothers. So we work to educate that it is something that we all play a part in, and just trying to change perspective. Yes, and also there still tends to be mixed messages about the consumption that's okay during pregnancy. So we really feel that more research and education is needed in this area, especially with the legalization of marijuana and that now playing a part. And I've just put in here, this quote is actually one quote. I've just divided it into three because it was quite long. But it is from a family that I worked with for 2 years. They haven't had a lot of success with other programs, and so they came in to our program wondering what we were going to offer that anyone else hadn't already tried. And that's often a common theme that we see is families that are really discouraged, don't know where else to go. And what I really love about our program is that it's low barrier. Anyone, for the most part, can access it, especially families that don't fit in anywhere else. And the other part that I love about it is that because we can tailor it to meet the family's need and the length of service, one of the comments we often get is just how consistent, like having one consistent person that can be with them for that long is really beneficial. So this family had a child who was in grade 6 at the time. He had attended 9 schools by this point and had been asked to leave his current school due to aggression. And he was only offered online school as an alternative. He was tagged with a moderate to severe mental health and behavior designation, but he had no actual formal diagnosis. He was seen in the community as a troublemaker, and he was absent for 130 of 180 days that past year. He was thought to be academically strong when he attended. And so I started with liaising between home and school. The family wasn't comfortable anymore talking to the school, as they just lost trust after year of failed experiences. So I advocated that virtual school was not a good fit and looked for a better option where he could thrive. So after building trust with Mom, she opened up about a number of stressors that were happening in the home. And I was able to shift, with the family's help, shift school's perspective from being a troublemaker to being a child who was faced with a lot of stressors that children shouldn't have to face. With the continued support and advocacy, and then just the connection to resources and a consistent person, they were able to get back on their feet. And I should mention one of those challenges was that this family of 4 ended up living in their car. So, yeah, these are just an example of some of the families that we might face with just multiple complex barriers, and it's so great to have support and a program that can really help these families.